what's something that several years ago you would be so proud of current you for doing, for accomplishing, for healing from, for whatever? Or what's a wish that current you has for you 2 years from now? Hey, friends, welcome back to the Millennial Mama Memo podcast, a weekly memo from your favorite Millennial Mama therapist. I'm Lauren, a late diagnosed ADHDer, mom of two, licensed therapist, and founder of Millennial Mama Therapy. I built the Millennial Mama universe for moms just like me who are figuring out who they are on the other side of becoming a mom. I work with moms all throughout California, and I also host 2 free virtual support groups for moms everywhere. If you're new here, hi, I'm so glad that you found me. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Let's get into it. All right, friends, today we are going to jump right in and start with the Millennial Mama Mix, which is a little bit of everything on my radar as a millennial mom and person. And the main thing on my mind this morning as I'm recording is the fact that this is episode 20 of the Millennial Mama Memo podcast. And I kind of can't believe that. Wow. Okay, I'm going to get back up and just brain dump here for a little bit with you guys. I just love creating these episodes. I am a talk to thinker, and that was actually the kind of original way that this got started. Is I was like, I need to figure out, how do I get stuff out of my head that I'm thinking about when it comes to my business, being a millennial mom, whatever. How do I get it out of my head and actually get it out there so other people can hear about it? Because I have tried being a social media content creator. Well, I haven't tried it super hard because I just don't enjoy doing it. I can create certain things. I much prefer to show up on stories, but creating consistent new ideas or filming, it's too much for my brain. It's not how I enjoy working. But I love sending voice memos to friends. This is one of the most consistent ways that I speak and stay in touch with friends and things like that, is through voice memos, because I can just I may not even know what I'm thinking, but as soon as I start talking, that's how I figure out what I'm thinking. So that was the original idea, which is why it's called, the Millennial Mama Memo. It comes from this idea of a voice memo. And so I had started out, my business coach was like, just do the easiest way. What's the easiest way? And I was like, you know what? Just sit down on an Instagram live, hit play and just stream of consciousness talk. And as I was going, I over time began to realize I want to have just a little bit more structure to this. I want to have a little bit more flow. I kind of want to have, certain segments that I know that I'm trying to fill out and be able to kind of plan ahead of what it is that I'm trying to talk about. And slowly but surely, ever since February, March-ish, this has turned into a podcast, and I am so freaking excited. I really love it. I enjoy making these. I love letting you guys inside my head and getting to know me. And yeah, I just feel so freaking proud of the Millennial Mama Memo podcast. I feel really, really proud of what it's going to become. I have big dreams for things that I want to do with it in the future. So we will see how that goes. My goal is to have this grow organically and sustainably, so it's something that I can keep doing. And the fact that I have been doing this pretty much every single week for the last 20 weeks feels really mind-blowing to me as somebody who kind of struggles with consistency in certain areas. So that makes me feel really good and confident that this is a platform that I enjoy using, that feels good for me to show up every single week and create something for you guys. So anyway, if you are here and you are listening, just know that I am so thankful that you are here. I hope that this is something that you guys are enjoying as well. So if you have any feedback or anything like that you want me to know about the podcast, if there's things you want me to touch on or talk about, or things that I could be, doing better, just feel free to let me know. Feel free to pop into my DMs and shoot me some comments. I will probably also at some point create a feedback form and things like that, or a topic submission if there's things that, you want my perspective on as a millennial mom who is also a therapist and a late diagnosed ADHDer. So one of the things that I also want to touch on before I move on to the next segment is this idea that through this podcast, I'm able to let you guys get to know me, which is something that's kind of crazy for me as somebody who often deals with nope, don't perceive me. I prefer to be a fly on the wall. Ever since I was a teenager, whenever, there was that icebreaker question of what would your superpower be? Mine would be, I would be invisible, because, not to be creepy or anything, but prefer to hang back and observe and take things in. And I don't need to actively be a part of something in order to be having fun and enjoying it. Like sometimes I just enjoy watching other people having fun. And now I understand that that has to do with my ebbs and flows of energy, things of being like overwhelmed or overstimulated as an ADHD person and whatnot. But anyway, the other thing that I wanted to kind of like touch on is I think a lot of us carry this like visibility wound, like a wound around being visible that like if we are visible, people might hurt us, or we have been visible in the past and people have hurt us. I think this is something that a lot of women carry. I think this is something that a lot of neurodiverse folks carry. And actually, I think this is something that a lot of therapists deal with as well. I have talked about this with some of my therapist friends in the past at consultation groups and things that I've gone to, that a lot of us have this visibility wound. And some of it comes from the fact that this idea of being a blank slate therapist, this very Freudian concept, is so hammered into us as, grad students and then in our, clinical training hours and things like that, that, you shouldn't be seen. That in the therapy space, the person who matters the most is the client, which, well, yeah, of course, absolutely. But it's like it gets so completely like swung to the opposite side where it's like who you are as a therapist doesn't matter. When really, from what I'm seeing and what I experience when I am a patient in therapy, I care about who my therapist is. Like that right match between personalities and sometimes even lived experience, for sure, values and politics and things like that, that matters. And so this has been kind of like a fun way of working on healing that visibility wound that I have of like being seen, letting people get to know me. So that way, if somebody is considering working with me, they have this way of seeing even before a consultation call, like, do I jive with Lauren? Does this feel like a safe person who I would want to work with? And I'm just really proud of myself for creating this space for kind of engaging in that healing work that I've needed to do around my fears of being visible and being seen. And I've talked about this a bit. Like if you go back a couple of episodes ago to, my M in match, I kind of talked about becoming a mom and starting my business and all of that. And I often think of January 2024, Lauren. She was just coming back after maternity leave with her second baby. She was trying to get her practice restarted and getting it refocused down on working with moms while also actively being in this new mom stage with her second baby. Did not know she had ADHD, all of this sort of stuff. But she had really big dreams and goals of Millennial Mama therapy looking like it looks today in a lot of ways. And so as I'm reflecting on the fact that now this is the 20th episode of the Millennial Mama Memo podcast, I just feel like January 2024 me would be so proud of current me. And that just feels really good. Like when you have one of those moments of internally, you can see a past version of you looking at current you and going, hey, like you're doing that thing that I've always wanted us to do. And thank you for doing it. So I want to kind of flip that around for you guys. And what's something that January 2024 you or several years ago you would be so proud of current you for doing, for accomplishing, for healing from, for whatever? Or what's a wish that current you has for you 2 years from now? Like what's a dream or a goal that you have? Feel free to drop it in the comments over on the Instagram post or on Threads. You can also shoot me a DM or reply to the newsletter when it goes out if you don't want to share publicly, but I would just love to hear from you. I think that's something that as moms and parents, we often lose parts of ourselves and, forget that we have dreams and goals. And it's, I think, really, really important for us to re-engage in that. So I would love to hear what that is. And, I also just want to validate too that it can be scary to set goals. I have always been afraid of setting goals because in so many ways they feel like premeditated disappointments because there's so much in life we can't control. I mean, goodness gracious. Had no idea the pandemic was going to happen. Had no idea that, I'm sure there's so many things in each of our lives where we go, wow, I thought it was going to look like this. And suddenly it happened a different way. Something else happened. And so for me, it's always as like a control freak, recovering control freak, high anxiety person. And also as a person with ADHD, where like setting goals, like I am so aware of the fact that I go off the rails and just forget about a goal that I set. I'm learning, it has been such a practice of learning that goal setting is more so about setting an intention and holding loosely the specific outcome. Like For example, one thing that I've been learning from so many people in my life, my business coach, friends, family, therapists, etc., is focus on how you want to feel. Like as you're thinking about work or being a mom or being a partner or whatever it is, how do you want to feel as you do that? Because there are many ways in which you can feel that way. There are many things that can help you feel that same way. And so when we focus on how you want to feel, do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel at peace? Do you want to feel rested? Do you want to feel busy? Do you want to feel, respected? Whatever that is, there are many things that can help you feel that way. And so when we focus on generalizing it to the feeling as opposed to, I want to have written and published 3 books or had this many speaking engagements or whatever, it's like we're able to generalize it a little bit because, we can't predict if we're going to be able to, have the speaking engagements or publish the books or whatever. Like we can absolutely include those visions and ideas into the intention. But when we have it focused primarily on how do you want to feel or what are the values that you want to be living in alignment with? There are a lot of things that can help you live in alignment with your values and create certain feelings. Anyway, yeah, if you feel like sharing with me, I would absolutely love to hear it again. Just drop a comment under the Instagram post for this episode, or you can also shoot me a DM or reply to the newsletter when it goes out. Okay, next up is the favorites folder, which is good stuff that I can't stop talking about that you should know about. And today I want to talk to you about my favorite skincare products as a mom of 2 with ADHD because skincare, first of all, I want to say is very, very, very personal. Everybody's skin is different. Everybody's sensory sensitivities are also very, very different. Everybody's budget is different. I first got into skincare when I was in my 20s. I am very fair. My heritage is primarily Swedish, Scandinavian. So I burn like crazy. And when I was in my 20s, I went skiing for the very first time in March, and it was up in, the Tahoe area. And I had applied sunscreen, but it was a beautiful, gorgeous sunny day. And all of that snow acted like a mirror, and I did not reapply sunscreen, and I got so badly sunburned, so badly. Like I had to take days off of work. I had to work from home. I went back to work after like a full week of being sunburned and working from home. And I thought I looked so much better. And I walked in the door, and all of my colleagues at the time were like, "What happened?" So anyway, that along with the hormone shifts that kind of happen in your mid to late 20s where suddenly you start experiencing adult acne and hormonal acne and all of that stuff really got me into figuring out skincare. I have been a religious sunscreen user every single day since then. And then throughout the years have played with a variety of different things. But anyway, when I became a mom, with my first, I was able to continue with my skincare routine and I enjoyed it. And it was like one of those things where I was really consistent about doing it. I felt like a way of taking care of me. And then after I had my second baby, and like I said, I was in that wow, everything is falling apart. I can't even do the bare basics. Like skincare really fell to the wayside for me. And so, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but I've said to other people in my life that since my younger daughter turned 2 in September, I really have felt like I have started coming alive again. And a lot of it is also because I have been figuring out, techniques and systems and routines and medication, et cetera, to help support my ADHD. In addition to the fact that we are out of the baby, really tiny infant stage of parenthood. Yeah, hormones are re-regulating all of that. So anyway, I have been able to start getting back into skincare beyond doing just the absolute bare basics. And so today I wanted to share a couple of life hacks around that, as well as some of the products that I would immediately go out and rebuy if I had to completely start over. If I lost all of my skincare products, these are the things that I would go out and buy if I absolutely had to. So my ADHD life hack that has helped me so much recently is showering at night. And I know for some people, they're going to be like, yeah, duh, I always shower at night. That was not me. I showered in the morning for the majority of my life. I don't know exactly why I started doing that. I think growing up, which now understanding ADHD and sensory things, it just felt like I didn't feel clean waking up in the morning after sleeping, which, honestly, if you think about it, adolescence and stuff like that, that makes sense. And so it just felt better to shower in the morning. But now that mornings are so absolutely nuts with kids and things that I want to do and getting everybody out the door, doing everything like showering and starting over from like freshly showered in the morning just does not work. It absolutely just creates such a crazy chaotic morning for my family. So I have learned that showering at night, washing my hair at night, shaving my legs at night, all of that sort of thing, like it feels so much better for me. Like I don't mind going to bed a little bit later to have like, done an everything shower, because in the morning I can sleep in a little bit longer because it takes me like 10 to 20 minutes to get ready in the morning instead of like an hour. So I would rather spend that time in the evening. And then because in the evening I'm getting in the shower, I'm washing my face every single night. That was a challenge when I was not showering every night, was washing my face, because I hate doing, standing over the sink and doing the like, 2000s facial cleansing commercial thing of like splashing water everywhere. I just like hate the water running down my arms. I hate the water everywhere. So sometimes it's like makeup wipe and off to bed, which like nothing wrong with a makeup wipe, but for me, it just did not get everything off and I would get broken out and everything. So taking a shower at night has really been a game changer for me. And then on top of that, because I am, getting out of the shower, it's like I immediately do want to do some like moisturizer or different things. So I end up doing my skincare. So it ends up helping me be consistent. So that is my big tip, is try showering at night, because also you're doing it after your kids have gone to bed. So then fingers crossed, you're not getting interrupted. I say fingers crossed because I still get interrupted during my nighttime shower because sometimes kids just don't want to stay in their beds. Anyway, moving on. So these are the things that I would immediately go out and rebuy if I suddenly lost all of my skincare products. Also, I'm not going to talk about actives too much because I am not a skincare expert. I am just sharing what works for me and what I like. And everybody's skin is so individual and specific, and something that works for me may not work for somebody else. Like we all have different levels of sensitivity. So I don't really want to get too much into the actives, because you really need to be doing that research for yourself and actually like listening to the experts. And I'm not an expert. I am just a mom and a therapist who is sharing things that I like that work for me. But I will say to my pregnant and nursing mamas out there who are missing your retinols, your retinoids, things like that, check out azelaic acid instead, because to my understanding, it is pregnancy and breastfeeding safe. And I can say from experience that it is gentle and it works really, really well at meeting a lot of those same needs as retinol. Obviously, nothing is going to replace a retinol, because retinol is retinol and it is like, the king for a reason. Actually, I want to say it's the queen for a reason. But yeah, if you are missing something like that, azelaic acid is really, really awesome. Okay, so number one recommendation, I love the Bioderma shower oil because it comes in a giant bottle and it works. It's gentle enough for my whole family to use. So I have like a giant bottle of it in my kids' bathroom. I have it in like my shower. I have it in our guest shower. And like if my whole family is like going somewhere, like that's the body wash that I pack for all of us to use. I use it for shaving. You can use it on your face as well as on your body. It is an oil, but it also does like emulsify and actually give you some sudsing action. And I really, really like it because it can also replace, if you're a double cleanse girly, it can replace your oil cleanser if you really want to. The next thing that I really like, which is also from Bioderma, is their micellar water. I specifically like the one with the green cap and with the pump top. It's the one for combo and oily skin. And I like it because sometimes that micellar water is like the only cleanse that I do. Sometimes I'm skipping a shower at night and I just like almost need it to be like a cleanser as well as a little bit of a treatment, to help with oil and stuff in one. And so I really like it. I have tried their like iconic pink cap one, and that one I believe is for sensitive skin, and it was fine. I just felt like the one with the green cap did a little bit more and got my face a little bit cleaner. So that's why I like it. My husband uses it as well. So I use it at night, and in the morning, like after I get out of the shower, I will still use that. And then I will use it again in the morning, like when I wake up, just to like, cleanse my face, like my neck and things like that. The next product that I really love is the Prequel Half and Half Fluid Moisturizer. For one thing, it comes in a travel size. most of Prequel's products come in travel sizes, and a lot of their products are really freaking good, you guys. So I recommend checking out the travel size so that way you can like see if you even like them before buying the big sizes. But their cleanser is super, super good. And then they also have like a glycolic and salicylic acid variants as well. And you can use those as face washes and body washes as well. So kind of put those up there with like the Bioderma shower oil, as I really love those as well. But they're half and half fluid moisturizer. I love it. I'm so picky about textures and I want something to be moisturizing without being too heavy on my face. And that Prequel half and half fluid moisturizer is so good. I will layer it with actives. So like, for example, I will put on that moisturizer and then I will put the retinol on top of it and then I will put another layer of the moisturizer and I still get the effects of a retinol without being irritated. So if I'm trying something new or if I've been out in the sun and my face is a little bit sensitive or whatever the case may be, it's so lovely and a little bit goes a long way. And like it's a freaking huge bottle that it comes in the full size. Like I don't even know how long ago. I'm still on my first bottle of the stuff and I'm almost out. Like I'm down to drops and I'm absolutely going to be repurchasing it. So on the topic of creams and moisturizers as well, I want to mention the Aven, I think is how you would say it, the Aven Sickle Plus Restorative Protective Cream. That stuff is so freaking good. That is like your healing ointment. Like if you got sunburn, if you used an active or a new product and had a bad reaction to it, that stuff is so good. I will put it on at night after using like a stronger product. And in the morning, my skin is so glowy. It is a little bit thicker, but it absorbs in. And I can just tell that like my face is just loves it. I actually recently purchased a different product to use instead because I was like, let me try this other one that also comes like really highly recommended. And I do not like it as much as I like the Aven. I am absolutely going to be repurchasing the Aven once I use up the other product. Okay, second to last product that I want to share with you guys is the Sunday Riley UFO oil. You guys, this is a clarifying acne treatment oil and it is so good. I back in March was at Ulta like using like my birthday points or whatever. And there was like a rep for Sunday Riley there who gave me a ton of samples. And in there was this Sunday Riley UFO oil. And I like this thing is tiny, you guys. Like it's like a half an ounce, like not even half an ounce. It's tiny. It's like 0.15 milliliters. It is itty bitty. And have been using it frequently and I still have it. So I do not put it all over my face. I literally use it as a spot treatment. So whenever I have like hormonal acne or things like that coming up, I will put it on at night. I will put it on in the morning before putting on like makeup or sunscreen or things like that. And it works so well. Like I have not found anything that works this fast at like quickly reducing those really painful, inflamed breakouts. Like I love it. It is not cheap. And I know there are some dupes out there, but I tell you what, when I am out of this sample, I'm absolutely going to be purchasing the full price, full size bottle because it lasts for a very, very long time and it works so well. Like I don't mind spending the money on that because I know I'm going to use it all up. Okay, and finally, the last thing that I would recommend or that I would go out and repurchase is a sunscreen. And I'm not going to make a recommendation for a specific sunscreen because, again, sunscreen is so up to the individual, but just a sunscreen that you will wear every single day because that is so important. There's a saying out there that, like, the most important step is sunscreen. Like, it doesn't matter what else you do. If you're not using sunscreen, the rest of that is basically for nothing because sunscreen is so important for blocking the sun, protecting your skin, all of that. And as a easily burny girly, yeah, daily sunscreen is so important, especially living in a sunny climate like I do up here in the Sacramento Valley. So if you have a favorite skincare product that has changed your life as a mom or made your life better, feel free to drop that in the comments below. And again, like I love unhinged, like random things that you would never think of. So like that, like I know some people, they'll use like a dandruff shampoo as a face wash. And they're like, this thing works so good. So if you have a recommendation like that, pop that into the comments on the Instagram post, pop that into my DMs. I would love to hear about it. And who knows, maybe I'll even be able to share some of these recommendations in a future favorites folder. Okay, moving on to Pink Couch Post-its. These are updates, hot takes, and things worth knowing from the Millennial Mama universe. And today I wanted to share with you some exciting news, and that is that as of recording this today, July 20th, so a week before this goes live, I have only one ART slot available for July. And that might be booked up by the time that this episode airs. So make sure to check my Instagram for my current ART intensive availability. I'm super, super excited about that. Had a goal for how many ART intensives I wanted to get started in July, and I'm so close to meeting that goal. So if you are interested in ART intensive, definitely get your consultation call booked today. Summer tends to be slow, but fall, therapists tend to start getting booked up. So if you've been thinking about doing an ART intensive, I definitely recommend looking at my calendar and getting your consultation call booked. And moving on to one last thing, these are all of the ways that you can join the Millennial Mama universe. So the very first way is to subscribe to In Case You Missed the Memo, my weekly newsletter, and the Millennial Mama Memo podcast if you're not already. You can also join one of my support groups. Both of them are non-clinical and available to moms everywhere. They're called the Mama Mess Hall and the Break Room. You can also book a Matchmaker Hour, which is a non-clinical 1-hour call to get you connected with local supports and resources. While my referral network is strongest here in Sacramento and in California, I'm always expanding my network. So even if you're out of state, I've got you covered too. Now, if you are in California and you're ready to do something about the things you've been carrying, it's time for an ART intensive. These are 4 appointments over 4 to 6 weeks with a defined end goal and treatment endpoint. Like I said, I have one slot available in July, and it might be booked by the time this episode airs, but make sure to check my Instagram for current availability. And don't forget to book your consultation call today. And I am also booking into August as well. So if you are thinking about booking a consultation call, I would absolutely recommend getting that in today. And let's get you on the calendar for your intake session for an ART intensive. All right, friends, that's your Millennial Mama memo for the week. Head to the link in my bio to subscribe to my newsletter in case you missed the memo so you never miss a memo. And I'll see you next week.